Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss on the functional elements of solid waste management system. Here the functional element of solid waste management, it comprises of six basic elements, which includes: the first is generation of solid waste, on-site handling and storage, collection, transfer and transport, material and resource recovery, and the disposal. Okay, the next we'll move on to the particular flow chart, wherein here this flow chart, it gives you all the six fundamental elements or the functional elements of the solid waste. First, we speak about the generation, like where exactly the waste generation it is taking place, and once the waste is generated, the on-site handling and storage thing has to be taken place. Handling in the sense the collecting of solid waste. After collecting, it has to be stored in a particular location. Once after handling and the storage in a particular place, then it has to be moved to the transfer station for the collection junction, where all the complete solid waste it will be dumped in the particular collection station. Once if it is in the collection station, it has two ways. First thing, it goes for transfer and transportation. It takes a long transfer. If it is a unwanted waste, then directly it will be disposed. Or if the waste it consists of any byproducts where it can be extracted or recycled by the solid waste, then it will be moved to the processing and the resource recovery unit. So here, when it comes to the generation of a solid waste, which results either it may be in the terms of natural, or it may be human or a animal activity. And as we all know, like when we speak about the generation of solid waste, which is very important, like we have to plan properly, design and operate the solid waste management system. Here in the generation, it has two aspects. One is a quality of a solid waste, and the other one is a quantity of solid waste. Quality, which includes what is a kind of waste it is, a source or a type, or what is a composition it holds in the solid waste, and it's with along with its properties also. Whereas the quantity, it says like what is the amount of waste, the total quantity or the generation rate of the solid waste, or what is the volume of the waste generation, that we speak about in terms of the quantity. The second parameter is waste handling. The second parameter is a waste handling. Here, the handling refers to the activity which is associated with managing the solid waste, like a kind of container or a storage, like what exactly we are going to use before collecting or to return to the drop off for the recycling centers. A specified activity associated in the handling waste, something like where it depends on the type of waste material that are separated for reusing or recycling, which these materials are separated from the waste stream. Depending on the type of collection service, handling also it may be varied. Like it can require its own the loaded containers from the collection point to to it come back to the empty container to the point where the store has been stored between the collections. The next one is a waste storage. Here, in the first phase, we speak about how to manage the solid waste in the home level. Waste storage. It requires a temporary storage and refuse on the premises. A individual household or a businessman, they should have a responsibility on us on-site storage waste. For example, like we have a dry waste and a wet waste. If a person is not collected for 2 to 3 days, how exactly are going to store the wet waste? Whether it is should be packed with the covers, or it should be packed with a titan thing without flow making air or the sunlight to fall on that. if the air and sunlight falls on that particular waste, the decomposition it will be very faster. Hence we should always take care, like once the decomposition takes place, there will be a source of fly smell and other hazardous condition also. So we always think about the waste storage. The fourth point is the collection. Here, the term collection, which includes not only gathering or picking of the solid waste from the various sources, but also it loads, like loading and unloading of the waste to the disposal sites or to the transportation. All these things it comes under the collection. While loading and unloading, most collection system or pickup of the waste varies from facilities and the location also. The next one is a transfer and transportation. Here, what exactly? Like transfer of waste means we need to move the waste from one location to another location. Either it may be a short distance or it may be more distant location. And if it is a small collection vehicles, then it has to be transferred to the very small distance. If it is a larger vehicles, then it has to be moved for the longer distance. Based on the collecting point and the route maps, they are going to decide the transportation and the transfer station. The next point is resource recovery and processing unit. Here, the resource recovery, it is something like it is a partial solid waste disposal or the reclamation process. We can say like here the waste reduction it can be taken place where the volume reduction also it is possible here, and the most resource recovery must be recognized like always it should be environmental benefit. Means whenever we undergo any processing unit, something like if we are going for treating the plastic, we should make sure that when we start treating the plastic, it should not create the hazardous waste out of it. It should be always environmental friendly too. So we need to think of resource recovery and processing for each and every solid waste. The last one is your disposal. Most of the organic content once after the segregation or when it is subjected to any resource recovery or the bacterial decomposition, we will be ending up with the end product which is the compost or which is of ultimate disposal of the waste. Okay, the entire process which includes both the separation and the bacterial conversion is also known as compositing decomposition of solid waste. Many they have accomplished by aerobically or anaerobically. This process it can be done aerobically or even anaerobically too. Thank you.